It is a book that explores our history and special connection with animals. But how in today's times, with mass production, puppy mills, and dog fighting, that connection is broken. The book is called The Bond, Our Kinship with Animals, Our Call to Defend Them. Here to tell us more about the book is Wayne Pacelle. He is President and CEO of the Humane Society of the United States. Welcome, Wayne.
Thank you.
You are also a New Haven native?
Yes, here to see my family as well.
Very nice. And you went to Yale as well?
I did.
So you're very familiar with, obviously, this area.
I am.
And you had a book signing last night?
I did at the Yale bookstore, and then the night before at R.J. Julia in Madison, and tonight in West Hartford at the Barnes & Noble in Blueback Park.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Great, doing the rounds of Connecticut.
I am.
So tell us a little bit about the book. Why did you decide to write this book right now?
Well, you know, I've always loved animals. In fact, when I was a student at Yale, I started an animal advocacy group then, and now I'm president of the Humane Society of the United States. And I've always felt this special passion and connection with animals. And it wasn't just that I loved animals, it was kind of a global view that I didn't want to see people cruelly treat other creatures.
Yeah.
As I got older, I learned about some of the things you mentioned, you know, puppy mills and dog fighting and then factory farming. And I said, I didn't want to be a bystander. I wanted to do something about it. And fortunately now I lead the largest animal group in the world, and I decided to kind of synthesize my thoughts, point a way to the future by writing about the bond. And, you know, I really think that this bond gives us a head start. You know, all of us love animals, right? I mean, we're connected to them, and, you know, we have 2/3 of American households with pets. It's not just sort of some sentimental feeling that a few of us have. It's deep in our culture. The problem is, you know, we're not living up to our greatest potential in being humane because we have all these problems in the world. You know, whether it was the Michael Vick case, kind of dramatized dog fighting, and so many problems in our society. We've got to do something about them, and I'm hoping that people read the book and really get inspired and take action.
Well, it is very timely because, as I mentioned to you in the break, you guys just came to a really big historic agreement with the egg industry.
We did. You know, we've been really concerned about egg production in America and how it's become so industrialized that the hens are kept in small wire cages, which are called battery cages because there's literally a battery of them. You could have 150,000 birds in one house. I went to a farm in Iowa with 10 million birds. Each bird has 67 square inches, so your piece of paper, an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, that's 93 square inches. To get 67, you have to fold it to 2/3. That's the living space that the bird has.
So they can't move at all, obviously.
They can't move at all. So I announced an agreement in Washington on Thursday, Washington, D.C., with the leaders of the egg industry to say, hey, we need to really dramatically change what's going on in the industry. So we've now got to get it through Congress. We'll be working with Senator Blumenthal and Lieberman and all the House members, and then, of course, lawmakers throughout the country to do better for these animals. If they're going to be raised for food, the least we can do is give them a decent life. It's just miserly for us to do this.
And do you think that the way that they are, our food production with animals, cows, chickens, whatever, does that affect the health of the food that we are eating? Oh,
great point. You know, it's certainly a primary issue for us on the animal welfare front, but when you mistreat animals, you get bad outcomes, you know, down the chain. And of course, when you overcrowd animals, when you stress animals, you put them in these unhealthy environments with so much manure and the food kind of interacting, it's a prescription for problems. You know, last year we had the biggest egg recall in American history. 550 million eggs recalled from a plant in Iowa. And again, what we've done is we're so separated from the food supply. You know, we go to the supermarket, we go to the restaurant, we get our food. We have no idea how these poor animals have been treated. Pigs in gestation crates where they can't turn around, or veal calves in a 22-inch wide crate. And these hens, I mean, it's the worst I've seen is crowding them into these battery cage confinement systems. And I just think that, you know, we can do better as a species. I mean, why? We're the greatest nation in the world. We have so much genius in our mind. Why can't we figure out a way to do this and not leave a trail of animal victims in the process?
And business does suffer when the product suffers. Like you said, there was a huge egg recall, so that's not even really an argument as well.
You know, I think of factory farming as an example of kind of entrepreneurial activity and innovation, but it's divorced from conscience. I mean, in our nation, we've got to marry our economic institutions and our values. When we don't, we get terrible outcomes, not just for animal cruelty, but in all other realms as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Wayne. And that's all in the book. It's called The Bond. We'll put that information, if we can, back up the screen on the screen there. The book signing, The Bond by Wayne Pacelle. The book signing tonight is at Barnes & Noble's in Blueback Square in West Hartford. There's so much more about that issue that you could go into. It's really fascinating, and hopefully, I think, you know, you're raising consciousness among people.
I hope so. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming.